Hello, dear friends. Welcome. If you're here, you've probably been thinking about time lately. How it moves faster now than it used to. How the years behind you suddenly outnumber the years ahead. How every sunrise feels a little more precious, a little more fragile. Today, we're going to talk about something deeply personal, something many of us avoid until we can't anymore. We're going to talk about living wisely when time becomes visible, when we finally understand that life isn't infinite, that our days are numbered, and that this understanding, painful as it may be, is actually a gift. This isn't about preparing for the end. It's about waking up to the present. It's about discovering that the best years of your life might still be ahead of you, not because you'll achieve more, but because you'll finally learn to be here fully, without distraction or regret. So take a breath, settle in. Let's walk this path together. The wake-up call. There's a moment that comes to most of us sometime after 60. It arrives quietly, often in the middle of an ordinary day. You're drinking coffee, you're folding laundry, and suddenly, without warning, you realize that time isn't a resource anymore. It's a countdown. This realization can feel like falling, like the ground beneath you has shifted. Some people panic, they fill their calendars, desperate to squeeze meaning from every remaining hour. Others freeze, overwhelmed by the weight of all they haven't done, all they'll never do. But Buddhist philosophy offers us a different path. It teaches us that this moment, this confrontation with mortality, is not the beginning of loss. It's the beginning of clarity. Because once we truly understand that our time is limited, we stop wasting it on things that don't matter. We stop living on autopilot. We wake up. The Buddha taught that life is impermanent. Everything changes, everything ends. This isn't pessimism, it's freedom. Because when you accept that nothing lasts forever, you stop taking everything for granted. You stop postponing joy, postponing connection, postponing presence. You realize that this moment, right now, is all you ever really have. And strangely, beautifully, that's enough. What truly matters now. So the question becomes, what matters now? Not what mattered when you were 30, building a career, raising children, proving yourself. Not what society says should matter, but what actually matters to you in this season of your life with the wisdom you've earned. For most of us, the answer surprises us. We spent decades chasing things that no longer hold meaning. The impressive title, the bigger house, the approval of people we don't even like. And now, with fewer years ahead, we see clearly how much energy we wasted on the wrong things. Buddhist wisdom points us toward what's real, relationships that nourish us, moments of genuine presence, simple acts of kindness, the feeling of sunlight on your face, a conversation where someone truly sees you, the quiet satisfaction of doing something well, not for recognition, but for its own sake. This doesn't mean your previous life was wasted. It means you've graduated. You've learned what you needed to learn through striving and achieving. Now you're ready for something deeper, something that doesn't require you to be anyone other than who you are. The practice is simple. Each day, ask yourself, if this were my last year, would I spend my time this way? Not to create anxiety, but to create clarity, to help you let go of obligations that drain you and lean into what genuinely feeds your soul. You've earned the right to be selective, to say no, to protect your energy for what truly matters. Relationships as sacred practice. Let's talk about the people in your life. Because after 60, relationships transform. Some deepen into something sacred. Others reveal themselves as shallow or draining. And some, heartbreakingly, end through death or distance. Buddhism teaches us about loving kindness, about seeing each person as worthy of compassion. But it also teaches us about boundaries, about not clinging, about letting relationships be what they are without forcing them into what we wish they were. At this stage of life, you have permission to be honest. That friendship that's been one-sided for 20 years? You can release it with love. That family member who only calls when they need something, you can create distance without guilt. That partner you've grown apart from, you can have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. But here's the beautiful part. When you clear away the relationships that deplete you, you create space for the ones that matter to bloom. You have time to truly see the people you love, to listen without planning your response, to be present without checking your phone, to say the things that need to be said while you still can. Every conversation becomes a potential last conversation. This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. It means you stop arguing about trivial things. You stop holding grudges. You tell people you love them. You apologize for old wounds. You forgive, not because they've earned it, but because carrying anger is too heavy now. The Buddhist practice of metta, or loving kindness meditation, becomes especially powerful after 60. You sit quietly and send genuine well wishes to yourself, to loved ones, to difficult people, to all beings. This practice softens the heart. It helps you approach every relationship with less judgment and more compassion. And perhaps most importantly, you learn to be comfortable with solitude, to enjoy your own company, to find peace in silence rather than filling every moment with noise or distraction. The body as teacher. Your body is changing. This is not a failure. This is not something to fight with shame or denial. Your body is teaching you one of life's most profound lessons. Everything is impermanent, and grace lies in acceptance. Buddhist philosophy encourages us to develop a compassionate relationship with our physical form, not to worship it or neglect it, but to honor it as the vehicle that's carried you through this life. Your body has been incredibly loyal to you, even when you took it for granted. Now it asks for more attention, more rest, gentler movement, better fuel. This isn't a burden, it's an invitation to slow down, to be more intentional, to treat yourself with the kindness you've probably been giving everyone else for decades. The practice here is simple awareness. Notice how your body feels after certain foods, after movement, after rest. Listen to what it needs rather than imposing what you think it should need. Some days it needs a long walk. Other days it needs to sit in the garden and do nothing at all. Pain, when it comes, becomes a teacher too. Not a punishment, but information. It teaches patience. It teaches surrender. It teaches you that you are not your body. You are the awareness experiencing the body. This distinction, this understanding, is deeply liberating. And here's something our culture doesn't talk about enough. Aging bodies can still experience pleasure, joy, sensuality, vitality. You don't have to accept the narrative that life after 60 is about decline and loss. Many people report feeling more comfortable in their bodies now than they ever did in their youth, because they've finally stopped judging themselves so harshly. Treat your body like a beloved old friend who's been through everything with you. Care for it, thank it, listen to it. Move it in ways that feel good. Feed it food that nourishes, rest it when it's tired. This is not vanity, this is respect. Peace in the present moment. The mind after 60 often becomes a battleground. Regrets about the past, anxiety about the future, grief for what's been lost, fear of what's coming. And underneath it all, the persistent whisper, time is running out. This is where Buddhist practice becomes not just helpful, but essential. Because the mind, left untrained, will torture you. It will replay every mistake. It will catastrophize every ache and pain. It will steal the present moment by obsessing about yesterday or tomorrow. Mindfulness is the antidote. It's the practice of returning again and again to right now. Not because the present moment is always pleasant, but because it's the only moment where life actually happens. The past is memory, the future is imagination. This breath, this sensation, this moment is real. You don't need to become a Buddhist or sit in lotus position for hours. You just need to practice being here. When you're washing dishes, wash dishes. When you're talking to someone, actually listen. When you're eating, taste your food. When you're walking, feel your feet on the ground. This sounds simple, but it's revolutionary because most of us have spent our entire lives somewhere else, mentally, planning, worrying, remembering, judging, and we've missed the miracle of being alive. After 60, there's less tolerance for wasting time on mental chaos. You've worried enough. You've replayed past conversations enough. You've imagined worst-case scenarios enough. Now is the time to practice peace. This doesn't mean you'll never feel sad or afraid or angry. It means you'll develop the capacity to feel those emotions without being destroyed by them. To watch them arise, acknowledge them, and let them pass like weather moving through the sky. The practice is breath. When your mind spirals, return to your breath. When anxiety tightens your chest, breathe. When grief overwhelms you, breathe. The breath is always here, always now, always reliable. It's an anchor in the storm. And gradually, with practice, you'll find moments of genuine peace. Not because your circumstances are perfect, but because you've stopped fighting reality. You've accepted what is, and in that acceptance, there's a profound and unexpected freedom. So here we are, dear friend, at the end of this conversation, but perhaps at the beginning of something new for you. A new way of seeing your life, a new way of spending your remaining time. You are not running out of time. You are finally understanding how precious time is, and that understanding changes everything. You don't need to do more. You need to be more present with what you're already doing. You don't need to achieve more. You need to appreciate more. You don't need to become someone else. You need to fully become yourself, perhaps for the first time. The Buddhist path after 60 is not about renouncing life. It's about embracing it more completely, more honestly, more tenderly than you ever have before. It's about letting go of what never served you and holding close what truly matters. Your life is not over. In many ways, it's just beginning. Because now you have something you never had before: wisdom, clarity, the courage to be authentic, the freedom to choose. Every morning is a gift. Every conversation is an opportunity. Every breath is a small miracle. You don't need to do anything extraordinary. You just need to show up fully for the ordinary magic of being alive. This is your time. Use it wisely. Use it well. Use it with presence, with kindness, with courage. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing this sacred work of waking up while you still can. May you find peace. May you find joy. May you find the courage to live fully in whatever time remains. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Until we meet again.